What is up, guys? Happy Friday. Good morning. It is a beautiful day here in Kansas City, and I wanted to bring a fun video to you. I've made one like this in the past, but just wanted to kind of update it, be a little bit more detailed, provide a few little extra tips and tricks. I charge people to set this up, and I'm giving it to you completely free. So, what is it? Well, it's using the power of Go High Level. My system is customized, it's called Nerd Tech, and Air.ai, so AI calling. So how do we set that up? How do we make the connections? I'm going to walk you through every single step, the exact process I go through to trigger the call. And then there's a process, another process we'll do to get the call details if a call is answered. So there are two different workflows that we need to do that. So let's dive right in. First, I'm going to show you what I do to set up my Go High Level. So we're going to go straight in to your Go High Level settings. We're going to go to custom fields, and I'm going to show you how I have this set up. So you're going to go to folders, and I need to explain to you, some people don't know this, but when you create a folder in the contact area, what that does is it creates like sections in the contact, and I'll show you what that looks like. So I created a folder, and all you got to do is click on add folder, and then you click, and then I made it AI call information. So if I click inside that folder, we have call summary, call outcome, call recording, date, time, duration, call attempts, pickups. I'm in real estate, so I have one street address expanded. We have to expand out the address so the AI reads it correctly. And then I have a checkbox field called AI human verified, because when a call comes in, I have an assistant that verifies every call just in case it was dispositioned incorrectly. So this is my AI calling folder that I have in the contacts. Now it's real easy. I showed you just add folder to create the folder. Then once you create the folder, you click into it, and then you can start adding fields. It's a simple, all these are single line fields, and then the duration, attempts, and pickups are those are number fields. So everything's single line, and the number. Oh, and the call summary is actually a multi-line, which is just a bigger single line text field. So that's what I have in here. And then the AI human verified is a checkbox. So I'll show you what that looks like on the contact. If we go back, go into contacts, I have a test contact on here, me. And if we scroll down here, when you create a folder, here's what it looks like. It's a collapsible field in your contact. So over here on the left-hand side, you can see I have some other folders here. So if it looks like this, you just click on it and it drops it down. Very, very cool. All these are custom fields that we created. And then when a call comes in, we're going to put data here, and then we can start building out some reporting off of this data. So now I'm going to jump into the automations over here to show you how we actually start building out the connection. So let's go into automations. I already have a folder here with all of them in it, but I'm going to start this out brand new. So let's create a new folder. We'll do AI call triggers test. We'll create our folder. Click on our folder. We're going to create a new workflow. We're going to start from scratch. And then I'm not even going to add a trigger, because most of the time when I initiate these calls, I do it from the contact list. I select all the contacts I want, and then I can add them into this workflow. But the trigger can be really anything. It could be a form, it could be a tag, it could be anything that you want to trigger it. But the important thing is the connection, which is a webhook, is what we'll add here. So it's going to be a custom webhook. It's got to be the one with the crown, and you do have to pay extra for this. This does charge 1 penny every single time it's triggered. A lot of people don't know that. That's what Go High Level charges you for their premium webhook, 1 penny. So if I am doing mass calling or anything like that, I do have a custom, I do use another webhook. So if you type in webhook, they do have a regular webhook that doesn't cost you anything. I can actually tie this to another system I use called Pabbly. Pabbly is a lot like Zapier, and it connects basically the exact same way, but I can pay for bulk actions with Zapier or Pabbly, and it's more efficient that way. For instance, if you're going to make 10,000 calls in one day, I would definitely do that through a Pabbly or Zapier connection instead of paying a penny per each one of those calls that's triggered. So just keep that in mind. But for follow-ups, if you're just triggering a call every now and then, a penny is no big deal. So I'm going to show you the custom webhook right here. And by the way, setting this custom webhook, if you do this in Zapier or Pabbly, this is exactly pretty much how it looks. It's going to be the same fields. It's going to be set up the exact same way. So whether you do it right here in Go High Level with the custom premium webhook, or whether you do it in Zapier, you're going to see this same type of interface in Zapier, because you have to put in the URL. You're going to have an authorization, and you're going to have a JSON body like this to get information across. So it's going to look exactly the same. So just keep that in mind if you want to set it up that way. So first off, only thing we have to do here is put in the URL. So we're going to go to their API, Air's API website, where we get that information. And it's basically air.ai.spotlight.io. And it's just this initiate a call. This is the API URL. So we're going to copy that. We're going to put that right here. And for some reason, when you copy, it always has a space right here. So we got to take out that space. All right. And then under authorization, we got to make this the bear token. And the bear token, all that is we are going to go to our Air account and grab an API key. We can generate a new one, use one, doesn't really matter. So we're going to go to our Air account. You're going to go to the settings up here, integrations. You're going to click on client API, and we'll do test API, generate. We're going to copy that. And then we're going to go back to our workflow here, paste that into the bear token. Now, if you're doing this for clients and you're copying these to more sub accounts and you want to make this so that it doesn't copy over your bear token, then I would put this bear token in a custom value field. And then you can search for your custom value right here. And you'll see I have one set up called bear token. So you can go into your settings and put your bear token there, and just have this as a custom value, so you can clone this setup for your clients if you're setting them up as well. So, and then for the custom values part, we're going to go back over here to the API. We're going to copy this right here. We need that set up. We're just going to replace it. And then for phone, we're going to go to custom values, contact, phone. Nope, I didn't replace it. I got to take this out. It didn't copy incorrect. Let me just delete that. Do it one more time. There we go. When it's red like that, that's when you know you're correct. And we're going to take out the string for the name. We're going to do first name. Metadata, we can put stuff in here like the property address, if I was using that for real estate. So any sort of extra data, if you want anything extra besides phone and name, how you do that is you would just enter. That's how I like to do it on a new line. And then you're going to put in quotes here. This is just going to be what you name it. So it could be anything, but let's say email. And then outside the quote, you do colon, space. And then all you do is go to custom values, put in the email there. And if you had anything wrong too, like if I forgot to put a quote there and I click, you'll see this red dot. That means you got something wrong. I see people mess up just little tiny things like this all the time. Yeah. There you go. So when that goes away, you know you're correct. And then right here, the prompt ID is this ID is the script you're using. So you'll go back to here, your Air, go to your script. We're going to go to the URL, and it's this number right here. It could be 4 digits in your account, could be 5, 6. As more scripts are created, this number is going to get bigger. So we're going to copy that number, go back over here, and you're going to put that number right there. Oh, it's not copied it. All right. There you go. So that's where that would go. Again, no red dot, so we're good to go. Again, this number right here, what I would do is not have that there. I would go to custom values, right here, and I would create a custom value for your script ID, and then it would look like this. And then you would go into your settings, to your custom values, and put your script ID there. So that just makes it dynamic. You go to one place in your settings to change anything. So I would do that for bear token and the prompt ID. So we're going to go ahead and save this. So now we've just completed actually being able to initiate the call. So the other thing I like to put in here, these are just extra tips. We're going to do an if else. And let's see here. Looking on my other screen here to remind myself what I did here. So we're going to make this branch a DNC. And I always tag everything as a DNC. So you go to contact details, find your tags. If the tag does not include DNC, and I also add a condition, or because Go High Level has built-in DND, so we'll go to contact details, we'll find the DND enabled, does not include DND call. So what that means is they have not been marked as DND call and they are not on the DNC, so we're good to go. I don't want to take any chances that we're calling people that don't want to be called, bugging them, and potentially for them just wanting to send us a lawsuit for no reason. So if we save this, now we put in this condition in place that is not on the DNC. As long as it is not meet any of those, then we're going to continue with the call. So this will stop it right there if it before it makes a call, so that we're not calling those angry people. Another thing I like to do, just for tracking purposes, I like to, let's say I have a list of contacts and I upload them to the system. Maybe there's multiple different lists. I want to keep track of in a report who's been called, who hasn't been called. A real easy way to do that is you can simply just add a tag when they've been called. AI called. All right, so now you can actually run a filter on your contacts list and have like a smart list, and you can say if they do not have this tag, they've never been called. If they do have this tag, they have been called. So that's the first thing I do to be able to see who's been called and who hasn't been called. The other thing I do, which plays into the custom fields that we created that I showed you earlier, is we're going to do a math operation. Math operations are very cool. And this is the last step to this call trigger flow that I do. We're going to select the field. We're going to do call attempts so that we know how many times we've attempted to call this person. And this is one of those small things that most people don't think about doing, and an extra little bonus I'm giving you. So call attempts, we're going to add it value by 1. We're going to update call attempts by that value. And we're going to save this as call attempts. Boom, there we go. So now that custom field we made called call attempts, every time a call is triggered here, it's going to add a +1 to that so we can keep track of how many times we've called people. Cool. So we're 13 minutes in, and I've showed you the custom fields. I've showed you exactly how to set this up so that it triggers the call perfectly. And there's some other things you can add in here. Maybe you want to follow this up with a text message. You could add in a text message down here. All sorts of different ways that you can customize this to your liking, but I would at least stick with these basic bones to getting it set up. Now, obviously you want to name this test AI call trigger. Don't forget to name your workflows. We're going to save that. All right. Now, the next most important workflow and the last one I'm going to show you that is what do we do when a call comes in and we want to put those details on the contact and Go High Level. So we're going to go back because we need to make that into a new workflow. We're going to create another workflow, start from scratch. And this one is going to start. The trigger is going to be an incoming webhook, inbound webhook. There we go. And again, this is a premium trigger, so it does cost money Every time it's triggered, it's extra on top. You know that because it had the little crown next to it when I popped it up. So inbound webhook trigger is going to have its own URL. We're going to take this URL. We're going to click the little copy button here. And we're going to paste this in our Air account. So we're going to go back to Air. We're going to go to our little circle up here. We're going to, actually I'm going to pause real quick and go into another account. This is not my demo account. All right, I'm back. I'm in the account I wanted to be in, and we clicked on integrations. We're going to webhooks now, and then we're going to create one of these webhooks by clicking on create webhook. And then the webhook action, always choose outcome instead of data. You're going to get more information on outcome. A lot of people are confused about that. So just choose outcome, and then we're going to paste that webhook from Go High Level right here. But first, actually, we need to get the client API. So let me just show you that real quick. The bear token right here, just the same as the bear token when we triggered the call, has to be the same API that we created. So if we go back to API, we did a test one in the other account. I'm going to do another test API. So we're going to copy that. We're going to come back, we're going to go back to integrations, webhooks. We're going to create that webhook now. We're going to put the API there. We're going to go back to Go High Level, paste this, copy that, paste this in the webhook URL, and then we're going to choose call outcome. Boom. So we got call outcome. The webhook URL is from Go High Level. The bear token was our API from the client API. Click create. Now we got our webhook. Now, to make this work, we have to initiate a call, and then it's going to give us a sample request. So all we have to simply do is go to our Air account, go to a script. We're going to click talk to ourselves. Call. It's going to call my cell phone. Oh, nope, it's not because I have it on Do Not Disturb. Let me take it off of Do Not Disturb. And I can see I missed a call. So we're going to try that one more time. Call. There it is. Calling. Going to answer. Hello. Hello. All right. Good enough. You don't have to talk to it very long. We're going to go back over here, and we're going to click this. And in just a few seconds, we're going to see a new request come up. So if we refresh, boom, there it is. That's the call we just made. So when we click on it, we can see all the details we get. So this is the call SID number. We can see that it came from our script prompt ID, that number there. So that was the script it came from. We have the call recording from number to number, duration. Duration. Duration is always in seconds. That's how it comes through. We have the transcript. We have the created time. We have notes. We have the outcome, how it dispositioned it. So we get all of that data we can use on our custom fields. So what's next? We're going to click Save. When you click Save, it automatically creates this field because we have to tell this where do we want to give this data. We have to have a unique value in the contact to map this data to. Well, what is the unique value? It's the contact's phone number. So when we click in here, go to Add Field, all we need to do is add the phone number. And we get that phone number by going to, we clicked on this little price tag here. We go to inbound webhook trigger, call, and we're going to map the contact phone number to the two numbers who we called. So now it's saying, hey, okay, we have this webhook. Now we found the contact in the system we want to map that to. If it doesn't find a contact, you can actually also add the first name as well and add that from the, let's see here. I thought we got name. Oh, there it is, cache delete name. That's it. Okay. And then we're going to save that. So it will create it if it's not there, but if it is there, it's going to map it and find it based off of the contact it finds to that phone number. So now we have the data. We're going to map it to the contact. Now, what do we want to do next? The next thing we want to do, you might want to add a note. So this is the most popular thing to do. You can name this call summary, and then we can have call duration, have call recording, call outcome, call notes, call transcript. So we can add this duration. Oh, sorry, that was duration goes here. Summary. Oh, summary is just, we want to go to call recording. I just named call summary the title. I didn't mean to put anything there. There's the recording, outcome. All right, I'm going to stop doing this because you can put all this in notes, but we're going to save this. I'm also going to show you that we're going to map this to the custom fields too. So we're going to do an update contact. We're going to choose the field. We're going to do call outcome. So now we have a field here that we've created where we can specifically map the call outcome. And then you're just going to go through call recording, call summary. So you get the point here. I'm not going to do every single one. Call summary would be my call notes. Continue out with that, map all your custom fields. The last thing I want to show you that I do that is another little tidbit most people don't think about doing is I showed you how to do the math operation to do the call attempts when a call is created, but this workflow, it's only going to trigger if a call is answered. So what happens when a call is answered is we want to track the call pickups. So now we already know the call attempts. Now we want to track the call pickups. So we can add another math operation. We're going to call this call pickups. You can call it call answers, whatever you want to call it. And this is going to be off of this field called pickups. We're going to add one value and add it back to the call pickups. Now it's going to add a one and some one to that every single time we've talked to this person, so we can see how many times that they picked up, and we can also see how many times that they've attempted. So we're going to save that, and let me click on my other screen here. I want to make sure there's a few other things I want to show you. I don't want to forget. Okay, so some people want to tag it with the disposition. So for instance, the call outcome. So the AI is going to automatically give it a disposition and outcome based on how it sees the call turned out. So that's going to be whether it booked the call, whether it's a DNC, whether it's a follow-up, not interested, and you can customize those outcomes in Air. Actually, I'll show you what that looks like real quick. That is under your setup stats tracking, and these are your outcomes. So you can create, you can track another one, you can add one, you could, call this one wrong number. And then this is basically just a chat GPT prompt. So you're going to say, if the prospect says you have the wrong number, basically just like that. So you're just telling it if the prospect says have a wrong number, then label it as wrong number. You click save and continue, and then you would have another disposition. So that's going to come across as your call outcome, which looks like this. If we go to the button, trigger, it is your outcome right here. And then we'd save that. So what that looks like here in the trigger It looks like this. When I made that test call, you have your call outcome right here. On this particular call, labeled as follow-up because I just hung up. So basically, it didn't have any more information. It couldn't label it as a booked call. It didn't label it as not interested because I didn't say I wasn't interested, and it didn't label it as a DNC. So this was what it defaulted to. So this particular call would have been labeled as a follow-up, and then on our contact notes, we would have seen a follow-up right here in the notes, or we could put that in a custom field to see it there as well. So how would you want to tag that? Well, down here, you would do another if else. And basically, you would do, this would be called call outcomes. You would make this branch called follow up. And then it would be based off of the inbound webhook trigger call. The outcome is, and then this has to be exactly the same uppercase or lowercase. If on your Air script you have this as an uppercase U, then when you say this, it's not going to work. So make sure this is the exact spelling, the exact spaces, the exact uppercase or lowercase. Everything has to be exact matching for this to work. And then let's say we want to do another one, duplicate. We'll call this one DNC. If call outcome is do not call, I believe this is exactly what it says on Air. And then we could do another one, duplicate branch, and outcome. Let's call this one not interested, and then rested. And we'll do one more, duplicate branch. And we'll call this one wrong number. All right, now we're going to save. Now we have some branches here. Now it's going to say, okay, if it's this, go here. 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 So the most important thing to do is if it's a DNC, we want to add the DND and for a specific channel and choose call and then save. So what I just did was internally in Go High Level, we just added this automatically to the DND list. If they are irate, then we can keep track of that internally and automatically never call them again. So if you remember right, we had this already filtered out on the call trigger side so that the calls will never ring anybody that already has this marked, or if it's tagged with this. I like to do both just to double do it. So I would also go to add tag. I would do tag DNC. I also like to add the tag and save that too. So we're doing both. For these other ones, this is the most important one. You would simply just add a tag. So same type of thing I just did, add tag. Save action. So now we have a follow-up tag. Then I would do a not interested tag and a wrong number tag. The beauty of adding these tags with the dispositions is now you can go back to your, we're going to go ahead and don't forget to name it. So we'll do, I always just name this AI call post outcome data. So we're going to save that. Now the beauty of those tags, coming back to what I was saying, was we can go to contacts and let's say, so here's an example. Let's say the tag was booked appointment. We can go to our filters here. We can do a tag is booked appointment, find it there, apply it, save it. We can save that as a smart list. You can see I already have it done right here. This is a smart list booked appointments. And then we can filter all of our contacts that were booked appointments. You could have a VA go through here and verify those. Sometimes it is incorrect, and make sure that you're actually following up on booked appointments. Or a lot of times what happens is sometimes I have one that's marked as not interested, and maybe they just said not right now. So that would be a cold follow-up or a long-term follow-up. So you would want that remarked so that you can take appropriate actions from there. So we're basically 30 minutes into this call. This is one of the longer videos, but man, I'm bringing you a huge bonus here, huge value. I've charged a lot of money for setting this up for people in the past. There's a lot more in-depth things we can do continuing on with these automations, or if you have multiple scripts, duplicating this and doing different actions. But this is the basic workflow setup that's going to really help a lot of people. So If you liked this video, give me a like, subscribe. If you need more in-depth help, I always put my calendar link in the description. I'd be happy to set an appointment with you. If you need some premium support or anything like that, I'd be happy to take your money and charge you, but I always try to provide as much free value as I possibly can to let you guys do this on your own. So have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later.